What is good, YouTube? Stu here with a video on the future of Marvel. So, the rest of this year, it's going to be quite quiet for Marvel, but next year, we have straight up banger. We have Black Widow coming out and we have Eternals. Now, what is interesting is there will be a Black Widow trailer coming up shortly. It is rumoredly coming out the middle of November to early December, which is pretty cool because we are still some time away from that coming out. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. So at the 100,000 subscriber mark, if we ever get there, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro with whichever game you want, a Switch with whatever game you want, or an Xbox One with whatever game you want. So all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on, because that really helps the channel grow if you turn notifications on, and then we'll get to this prize giving away sooner. So Marvel, like I said at the start of this video, is very dry at the moment, but 2020 is gonna start popping. 2021, 4 movies, it's gonna be very popping. So Black Widow is coming out very soon, less than a year away. So recently, Scarlett Johansson made comments on Black Widow's future after Avengers EndGame. Is she going to return? Is she dead? We did a video on it stating that she wasn't dead and Tony Stark brought her back with the finger snap. So Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson recently confirmed what I thought, or did she debunk what I thought? Well, it was very interesting and subliminal messages, but she didn't really confirm or deny exactly what I said. So, recently I found an interview with Scarlett Johansson about the Black Widow movie. So, she was asked this. The Black Widow solo movie brought closure that Avengers EndGame couldn't due to her character demise. Honestly, it brought closure to me that I needed, because I was kind of wiped out after the last one, emotionally and literally. Of course, fans know death in the world of comic book heroes is often temporary, and some wonder if Scarlett Johansson Avengers Endgame death would be reversed somehow. However, Scarlett Johansson stated that she believed Black Widow's Endgame death would not be undone in any way. Now, I don't really believe this because it's a popular question to ask her. I don't believe this because it just doesn't make any sense. We'll get into that in a minute. So she responded with it. There's very few certain things, but definitely the death is pretty certain. But people definitely don't believe it and have tried to convince me that my character did not actually die. That maybe my character exists in an alternate universe. But no, I think death is pretty final thing, which is interesting. But your boy Stu does not believe that. So as we know, the Black Widow movie will be coming out May the 1st, 2020. We can't wait to see this. It looks absolutely fire. Cannot wait to see some badass fights. So essentially, she is saying that as far as she knows, the death is final. But what you got to remember is during the Endgame press tour, press junket, she wasn't even allowed to answer questions about a movie that she was literally going to start shooting very soon. So we here at the Stu channel seem to believe there will be multiple movies after this movie. So is she dead? We don't know if she's dead. Is she gonna stay dead? Maybe, maybe not. But we have done a video about that. I still believe she is still alive. But they could do other prequel movies based after the Budapest accident, based, I guess you could say, after Civil War, because it is interesting. This movie will be flicking to the Budapest stuff, to the current day, and apparently it's going to be flicking to the future. So that is interesting. We are expecting the trailer for Black Widow to come out at the end of this year, around November-ish, just before Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. Why? Because that's the pinnacle time. So we know that comes out the middle of December. They recently dropped the final trailer, and there's the whole leaks. You know, they've literally, a plot point for that movie has already been revealed, but I'm not going to spoil that here, but we have done a video on that already. So the trailer for Black Widow would definitely be in the cinema for that movie because they've got to capitalize on it, and I don't really believe they have a lot of hope in this movie for some reason. They've not really sell a lot, although Scarlett Johansson is a very popular character. So the Eternals movie is coming, and we can't wait. Such a stellar cast: Richard Manning, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington from Game of Thrones. So recently Kit Harington teased his Eternals role for the Black Knight, and as we know, Black Knight is apparently going to have a massive future in the Avengers and going forward. So this was what's said. Fresh of completing Game of Thrones, Kit Harington signed up to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although there's lots of rumors that he was playing Wolverine, etc., it turns out that everyone was wrong and he's playing Black Knight. With production still under the way, details are being kept under lock and key. Although they are, well, at least they were filming out in the open in my hometown, London. So Harington can't say too much about his role, but he did offer a few teasers words while speaking at the next conference earlier this month when asked where his career was going next after Game of Thrones. Confirmed he was playing a superhero in the Eternals, joking that there's a connection with Snow as both characters have a sword. Now I'm going with Marvel. I'm going to play a superhero, which is cool. I don't know what I can say about it. I'm scared to sort of even mention it. I'm trying to choose things far away from Jon Snow as possible. But I'm playing a superhero who's got a sword. So we know he's got a sword in the comic books. It is interesting how everyone seemed to think he was going to be in Avengers EndGame, but he wasn't. So it is interesting. Harrington Whitman is also believed to be involved in a romantic romance with Gemma Chang's Cersei in the movie. Another thing pulled from the source material. There's a very good chance this role won't be a one-off one, as there is a rumor going around that Black Knight could even get his own film. He could have his team-up movie with the British heroes and line up in the new Avengers. The Eternal movie hits cinema 2020 November, as the official release date was actually revealed when Kit Harington came out at D23. They revealed when the Eternals movie was actually coming out during San Diego Comic-Con. But what is interesting, guys, about this movie is they haven't revealed the full cast yet. Richard Manning said in a recent interview, wait until you find out the rest of the cast. So Millie Bobby Brown has been rumored to be Eternal for such a long time, and so has Keanu Reeves. He's literally rumored to be everything. Keanu Reeves actually might even be in Fast and Furious 9 alongside Cardi B. So it's going to be very interesting to see where Keanu Reeves comes in and what actually happens when he does come in. So Black Knight's role is supposed to extend outside its universe. As we know, the movie is about the Eternals and Celestials, and they are still in the MCU to this current day. Not much is known about this, but the Eternals character would be carrying a sword. That is confirmed. It seamlessly is pretty much confirmed the involvement of the Ebony Blade in the up-and-coming film, which is interesting. But he's literally gone around saying the same thing multiple times. But what is interesting about this movie is it isn't your typical Marvel movie with the typical casting, but it is pretty interesting. The plethora, the kind of different backgrounds. It's kind of quite a diverse character list of different characters and different kind of backgrounds, different ethnicities, which Marvel haven't really done that much. So as we said, 2020 is going to be quite a dry year, as we've only got the Black Widow movie, and then we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we've just done a video about that plot leak that may be real, maybe not real. I will leave a link in the card in the corner of this video. And then obviously 2021 is going to be absolutely insane. So will Black Knight be the leader of the new Avengers alongside The Rock, Dwayne Johnson? Now, you guys don't really like me bringing up The Rock, but there's a reason why I bring up The Rock, and you will find out in a few months why I keep bringing The Rock up. The Rock will be in an MCU role. We know this. He's the biggest actor in Hollywood, so he's going to at some point come over. You know it's going to happen. So what is going to happen going forward is I'm going to be doing like more theory videos based on what's going to happen in Black Widow, the Eternals, etc., because that's kind of the origin of this channel. So at the moment with Marvel, I'm going to be honest with you guys here, there isn't really much news going about. And if there is news going around, like factually speaking, guys, most of it's not even real. DC, we're going to be doing a lot more DC stuff coming up soon because DC's got a lot more going. Apparently there's Joker 2 movie, and we will be covering Star Wars. Yes, the Star Wars leak is basically real, and it's pretty much been confirmed by what Disney have done recently, but we're going to talk about that in a different video. So also in the news, I wanted to add this at the end of the video because it is pretty interesting, and also it's freaking massive, but I didn't want to make a whole video based on subject. So last week whilst in Mexico, I reported a story that Kevin Feige is now the chief creative officer at Marvel. So he literally runs everything Marvel comics, the comic books, Star Wars comic books, partially Star Wars, Marvel Entertainment, Marvel. He literally runs MCU. He runs anything and everything to do with Marvel. Now, why this is major freaking news is because Do you know the Marvel TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of Carter, Netflix Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, all these kind of shows that they were part of the MCU, but they never crossed over because obviously Kevin Feige wasn't in charge of them. So now Kevin is in charge of everything. So it's always felt like there was two cinematic universes to me. Because although there were references, there were Easter eggs to Infinity War and EndGame, partially during the Defenders Netflix shows, you could say in ways, there was always a kind of wall where everyone knew that Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, was never going to randomly rock up in Infinity War because mainly that was owned by Netflix, but Marvel still produced them, just Netflix paid for them. So what is happening is Jeff has left Marvel Entertainment, which is freaking huge news. I don't know why there isn't more creators talking about this. Well, because they probably just aren't really interested. But this has massive ramifications for the future of the MCU, but more importantly, the Disney streaming shows. So let's break it down. So this story is literally everywhere. So essentially, Feige has taken control of everything, like we said before, the TV shows, the comic books. So this could result in a catastrophic, dramatic shift in the MCU. This means the relationship between Marvel Television and film properties will only be strengthened. Considering prior to this change, Marvel TV shows existed in the MCU, but for the most part, it felt like there was a wall up. They felt isolated. TV shows set in the MCU have been around since early 2013-ish, but Marvel TV characters appearing on the big screen until Agent Carter in a brief moment in EndGame didn't really happen. So this person leaving Marvel TV essentially means Marvel Disney Plus shows will have a stronger connection to the MCU. Some of their characters are expected to cross over into the movies. However, this could apply more to the Disney Plus characters, though Marvel Television is ending. Some of the heroes can still be represented in the MCU. So there is a plethora of characters like the Inhuman, Ghost Rider, Quake, so many, the Defenders, Daredevil, etc. So it is pretty big news now that Jeff has stepped down. It essentially means that any character who was under Marvel TV could in theory appear in the MCU properly, and it wouldn't feel like they're in their own cinematic universe. There is hope that Ghost Rider will cross over somehow. I know that obviously Disney owns Hulu, and it was confirmed that Ghost Rider was cancelled, but Hellstorm is still moving forward. The fact that Hellstorm lives on but Ghost Rider has been dropped could indicate Marvel has a bigger plan for the Spirit of Vengeance, bigger than the fans realise. So they might have axed some things because obviously Ghost Rider would be better in the MCU than he would be in an independent TV show. It's just very interesting, but I don't really see anyone talking about this. It is absolutely freaking huge news. It's crazy big what could happen now. There's also characters like Deathlock, in a way, for future project in Marvel Comic, but that could correlate to the MCU in the future. There's so much potential now, and the fact that Kevin Feige has essentially taken over everything is only a positive. Some people seem to think it's going to be negative and he's going to be overworked, overrun. I kind of did have that opinion, but you got to think he's got lots of people working under him. So although he's head of everything, he still has a huge team working behind him. But Jeff essentially did shape the Marvel TV massively. So it is sad that he's left, but it could open the doors for, in theory, the MCU to use more of the Marvel television characters. So it is going to be interesting. And what is interesting is this news came out, I think it was 7 or 8 days after Kevin Feige was promoted to Chief Creative Officer. So there's obviously a lot of things happening behind the scenes, but it is cool because a lot of these characters or acts, we know Marvel has plans for Inhumans inside the MCU, so a lot of things that happen in Marvel TV can now happen on a big scale. However, while Jeff is on his way out the door, his plans for the immediate future of Marvel television remain in place. So things can't remotely change straight away, but overall in the long run, the new era of Marvel Studios is just about to start, and the exit of Jeff certainly solitudes the notion it will be an interesting ride to see what is going to happen with Kevin Feige juggling absolutely everything in cinematic universe. It really wouldn't surprise me if Kevin Feige becomes head of Disney and just is in charge with the whole. Hell, it wouldn't even surprise me now if Kevin Feige takes over Disney and runs everything. I mean, he's one person that seems to be doing like 20 people's jobs. So it is interesting because he's getting involved with Star Wars as well. So this will kind of reshape Marvel over the next couple of years, but it's what Marvel needs. If they're going to use characters like Daredevil, Ghost Rider, Quake, use some of the Agents of Character Shield. Like, to be honest, guys, they could have done this a long time ago, but for some reason they never did it. But it is going to be very interesting to see how everything plays out. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.